Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss the finals of the Meltwater Champions Chess Tour Aimchess Rapid between Shakhriyar Mamedyarov versus Duda. And as we know, Shakhriyar Mamedyarov beaten Rc1 Rapid in the semi-finals to came into the finals, and Jan-Krzysztof Duda beat Magnus Carlsen to reach the finals. So definitely it's going to be an epic clash between these two top players. So in the first day, Duda won against Mamedyarov. In the second day, Mamedyarov made a comeback by beating Duda. Now we have reached in the tiebreaks. And in the tiebreaks, both the players are going to play 2 Blitz rounds. And the player who wins the most of the round will win the game. And if after both the Blitz round, both the players are having the equal points, then the game will go into the Armageddon section, where white is having more time than black, and white is forced to win if he wants to win it. If he wants to win the game, if the game ends in a draw, black will win the game. So yeah, so we are going to discuss the 2 games in the Blitz section, and going to check out who became the Meltwater Champions Chess Tour Aimchess Rapid champion. So it's going to be very interesting. So in the first game, Shakhriyar Mamedyarov with the white pieces starts out the game with 1d4. And Duda with the black pieces replied with knight f6. We have the standard queen's gambit, knight to c3 by white, and here bishop to b4, bishop to g5, very standard stuff. And here black goes for capturing the pawn on c4. And Mamedyarov, as we know, he loves to attack. He went for the move e4, grabbing the center and also hitting the pawn on c4. And you can't really capture the pawn on e4 because your queen is hanging. So black went for the move c5. You can also defend the pawn on c4 by playing b5, but I won't recommend it because you basically destroy your own pawn structure, and white can continue with a4 stuff like that. So we have c5, a very nice move by Duda, bishop into c4, and c into d4, knight into d4. So basically Duda exchanged the side pawn with the center pawn. We have queen to a5 by black, hitting the knight and also hitting the bishop. In the game, we have bishop into f6. You can also play bishop to d4, bishop to d2, simply protecting the knight. But I believe it's the more passive move, so it's better to play bishop into f6. And now, many of the players who have not seen this particular variation is going to lose their mind. Bishop into c3 check, b into c3, queen into c3 check, king moved, and like you can't defend your check with a queen because you lose the rook, so it's winning for black. Sorry, it's not winning for black. In this particular variation, you actually can't capture the rook because of king e2, and the rook is simply attacking the queen. The king have nowhere to go. The queen is forced to capture the rook, and in this position, we simply have knight into e6. Mate in 1. And if the only move to defend is by playing knight c6, and after knight into g7 check, king f8, king queen e6 check, I believe it's soon a mate. Very crazy variation. So the best move in this particular position is to capture the queen and capture the bishop, and we have this equal type of position. So I didn't knew this variation at all. So but we have king to f1 by Mamedyarov. And here we have g into f6. Many of the players thinking, can't we simply capture the bishop, and after king g1 we can capture another piece? So basically black will piece up. But guys, you cannot capture the bishop in this position because now white is having a powerful move, rook c1, hitting the queen and the bishop. And for example, if you move the queen, you lose the bishop and eventually the rook as well. That's the thing, you can't capture the bishop first. So black went for capturing the another bishop. We have bishop to b5 check, king to e7. And a very surprising thing is you can't really protect the king by playing bishop to d7 because of rook c1, queen goes back, and again rook to c8 check. You can't capture the rook, the bishop is spilled. So eventually you lose the rook again. So yeah, you can block the check with the knight because the rook is defending the bishop, but Duda decided to move the king because the rook simply defends the bishop. Rook c1, queen f5, and at the first glance it looks like white looks actually better because black king is in the center. White pieces are more developed. Black queen is like, I don't know. It just feels like white is better, but it's actually an equal position. Mamedyarov goes for playing g3, bishop to d7, rook to b1, and here we have rook to d8. Actually, in this position, after bishop d7, Mamedyarov should have gone king to g2, and after bishop into bishop, knight into bishop, queen into, then check, and after knight d7, the fourth move, not a fourth move, there are two moves. You can play knight d7 or king f8. If black plays knight d7, here we have a fantastic move, a4. Simply hitting the queen is having nowhere to go, and you won't believe it, but the best move for black is to play queen to c6, give up the queen, and white is better than, and I think white would be able to convert this. So in this position, the best move is to play king f8, and I believe after check, takes checks, queen takes, like you basically give up the rook, and black is forced to capture the rook. We capture the rook, and I believe it's a fine compensation. Like definitely black's a piece up, but blacking is too weak, and I think white should be at least slightly better in this position. So yeah, so that's what happened. But rook to b1 was played by Mamedyarov, and it's not a good move. You are basically wasting too many moves on a particular piece. You have rook to d8 now. Very good move by Duda, aiming the rook at the d5, which hits the knight and the queen. Queen to h5 by Mamedyarov. Queen to b6, again a nice move. The idea is very simple. You can't move the bishop because the rook is hanging, and the knight is also hanging on d4. So the knight to f3, bishop to c6, king to g2, bishop into e4, capturing a pawn. Because you definitely do want to protect the king at the place of protecting the pawn. So basically king g2, a fine move, bishop into e4. And here black is already better, I would say, because like nothing much is happening. The rook is hanging, the knight is hanging. Not the knight is hanging, but the rook is hanging. And the a6 can come at any time. And rook d5 is also looking a very strong move. So for all these reasons, Mamedyarov chose to play bishop to e8, threatening this queen into f7, a very deadly attack, also hitting the queen. So you are in Duda's shoes. What move are you going to play in this particular position, which made Mamedyarov resign the game? So pause the video and try to find the best move for black in this position. Okay, so all those who have came up with the move, the only move to win the game, bishop to g6. And after bishop g6, Mamedyarov decides to resign the game and Duda won. The basic idea here is you can't capture the rook because you ran into queen into f7, which is a very deadly attack. So you simply play bishop g6, hitting the queen. And for example, if white goes for capturing the queen, bishop into h5, and you again you're losing both the piece. For example, if you go back with the rook, like for example, if you capture the pawn, you lose the bishop. So black is already a piece up. So it's completely winning. And like there's no play. If you try to move the queen, you lose the bishop. You lose the rook. So there's no point of. So hence the reason after bishop g6, Mamedyarov decides to resign the game, and Duda simply won. So yeah. So this was the first round, and in the second round, Mamedyarov is having the black pieces, and if he wants to make a comeback, take the games into the Armageddon, then he is in a must-win situation in the next game. So let's check it out. Will he able to make it or not? So in the second tie breaks, Duda is having the white pieces and Mamedyarov is having the black pieces. So let's check it out. Will Mamedyarov make a comeback or not? So Duda in the second game starts with one knight f3, c5, c4, and here we have g6, g3, bishop to g7, bishop to g2. So basically, Mamedyarov is actually copying Duda's play. Knight c6, knight c3, knight to h6, d3 by Duda, short castle, d6, a3, a6, and rook to b1. So Duda wants to expand up the queen side. That's his plan. And basically everything is same except here black played rook b8. Everything is same except the knights. White knight is on f3. Black knight is on h6. That's the only difference. Everything is same. And as we know that Mamedyarov is in a must-win situation, Duda is playing very positionally, very solid, not allowing Mamedyarov to give any chance. So rook to b8, b4 by Duda. And in here, black cannot capture the knight because of bishop to h6. So if black captures the knight, white is also going to capture the knight. So it's a fine position for white. It's a good position, I would say. So knight to f5 by black, bishop to d2 defending the knight, c into b4, a into b4, and here we have b5 by black, cb, ab, and here we have e3. Keeping the pawn structure very solid, e5, d5, a very good move by Mamedyarov, gathering as much space as he can in the center. Because gathering space in the center is a very good, is a very basic necessity for any player because it gives you more space in the center. So after d5, queen to e2 by Duda, and here we have e6. I think Mamedyarov could have gone e5, grabbing more space in the center. And as you know that he's a must-win situation, he needs to do something. Rather, he went for e6, playing more solidly. Rook to c1, bishop to d7. And you won't believe it, the time control is 5 minutes plus I think 6 second increment. And in this particular position, Mamedyarov is having 4 minutes, whereas Duda is having around 2 minutes only. So Mamedyarov is going extremely fast, which is very difficult to Duda to handle. And it's actually pretty hard for white to come up with an exact plan how to continue the game. Like everything is developed. Now what are you going to do? So after bishop d7, Duda came up with a phenomenal plan. Rook to c2. Rook to e8. Mamedyarov is like, I'm going to simply develop my pieces. Knight e2. And you won't believe it. The idea here is, white wants to put the knight to c1, to b3, to c5. Phenomenal. After knight a2, you have rook a8. Black gathering, having the open a5. Knight to c1, bishop to f8. Putting some pressure on the pawn on b4, and here we have d4, knight to d6, because now black also wants to put the knight to c4 as well. So bishop to e1, knight to c4, rook to a2, asking for a rook trade. Now rook to a4 by Mamedyarov, not trading the rooks, but giving the Duda an option to trade the rooks. And after trading the rooks, I believe black is simply better because of it's a pass pawn. Yeah, and the b pawn is actually too weak because it's having four steps to make a queen, whereas black is having only 3 steps. So we have knight to d3 by white, queen to c7, and here Duda also put his knight to c5 and also hitting the rook. So Mamedyarov decides to capture the knight, dc, and like in this particular position, many times, white goes for capturing the bishop with the b pawn and having this same kind of pawn structure. And also the b pawn looks weak. But in the reason Duda captured with the d pawn is the only reason is because white is having the dash-square bishop. And once the dash-square bishop comes to c3, the dash-square bishop is going to be extremely powerful and it's very good for white. Hence, he captured with the d pawn, and here rook e8, rook into a4, rook into a4, knight to d4, queen to b7, queen to d1, and here after queen d1, actually Mamedyarov lost all his patience because white is having no weaknesses at all, and now there is no exact breakthrough for black. So Mamedyarov simply lost his patience and he went for the move e5, knight to e2, I don't know, perhaps he was expecting knight trade and he was thinking like bishop to c6 and he's having a fine position. But Duda went for a very nice move, knight e2, simply coming back with the knight. He's threatening knight c3, hitting the rook and the pawn. And currently he's hitting the pawn on d5 with the bishop and the queen. So after knight e2, we simply have bishop to f5 by Mamedyarov, hitting the b1 rook, rook c1, and here bishop to e4 by Mamedyarov. So it's your turn now. White to play. How are you going to finish off the game? So feel free to pause the video and try to find the winning combination. Okay, so I'm sure that you guys must have saw this. It's a 2-move combination. First capturing the bishop, d into e4 is kind of force, and here rook into c4. Fantastic. So basically you cannot capture the rook because you lose the another rook, and white is simply a piece up. There is no way you can do anything. Basically Mamedyarov simply missed this rook into c4. And after rook into c4, I think after rook into c4 on the move number 32, Mamedyarov decides to resign the game and have our champion of the Meltwater Champions Chess Tour Aimchess Rapid 2022, Jan-Krzysztof Duda. He beat Magnus Carlsen in the semifinals. He beat Vidit Gujrati in the quarterfinals, and he beat Shakhriyar Mamedyarov in the finals. I would say a phenomenal play by Duda, and definitely it's a heartbreaking moment for Mamedyarov to lose the game like this. Like, he simply missed this small tactics over here, and which cost him the championship. So yeah, these two were the games of the finals of the tie breaks. So yeah, it would have been interesting if Mamedyarov would have won the game. We would love to see the Armageddon, but okay, it's fine. These tournaments are going to come in the future, and it's a pleasure to watch these games of the top players. So I'm going to come up with these interesting videos for you, and I'm soon going to make a video on Han's lawsuit of $100 million against Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura, and chess.com. It's going to be very, very cool. So I'm going to see you soon. Till then, stay tuned and keep watching One Shot Chess.